didn't spend much time with you. A lot less time than I meant to. You're so alive, you know it's true. What am I supposed to do? Looking back at days we spent, a mix of hell and heaven sent. I wondered where the time had went. How much more that I'd been lent. And I try to relate to all the things that you said. And I try to relate, but all the old ways are dead and gone. I tried to tell you how I feel. They told me it would help us heal. Sometimes a heart is cold as steel. Skips over feelings that are real. Thought that you'd be gone. So long before I heard your song. They try to make me move along. Could it be that we were wrong? Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Thank you so much for being entertained and enjoying these presentations. I know that I'm probably not your number one choice when it comes to singers, songwriters, characters that you might want to see throughout the day. And I know that because, well, that's why sometimes those cold hearts are only hearing these things and helping to acknowledge them via this platform. What I mean by that is that this song, I called it Time With You, and I wrote it primarily thinking about my uncle, who I was recently given some news about, and the words are pretty straightforward for most people, but for some people, the cold heart can skip over feelings that are real. And that's basically what I encapsulated in this song, which is not meant as medication. So maybe I am choosing some inconsistent wording to say what I'm saying. And on the other hand, I wonder if all of the words that I'm saying are not 100% guided by a higher power of some sort. And I don't really wonder it anymore. I just go with it and allow these words to come through the way that they were supposed to come through. And right now, again, as a person who's basically asking for help, who's been asking for help for a long time, who hasn't been met with the windfall of blessings that would allow me to do something like this full time. I literally just wrote these words down, tried to put a melody to them, and made them as profound as they could be based on my given circumstances. And my given circumstances are that I've been met with my own struggles. Like I say, I received some news not too terribly long ago about my relative who has been going through some circumstances and who may not really be with us any longer. And I say that in an ambiguous way because I didn't really identify who I was talking about. And I also haven't been able to talk with these people directly myself for some time because as a family, we don't get together in this era. And it's too easy to skip over the uncomfortable parts of life that we don't accept. And so as a what's the opposite of a non-player entity or a non-player character? As an actual character in my life and in the lives that I'm allowed to participate in, I do my best to present insights fully. And because of this, I feel like I've been met with some interesting return on investment. And in a lot of cases, it feels negative, it feels painful. And I also feel like I've been persevering through these things as strongly as I can, despite the cold-hearted, calloused choices that some people have been leveraging as a return on my investment in myself and in also the things around me that I'm cultivating in peace, love, and all that old school stuff. So you can look into my eyes, you can look into my heart, and physically you might see things that don't really demonstrate the pinnacle of achievement. But realistically, as a fellow child of a higher creator, I think a lot of people are seeing that there are many of us out there who are just trying to do what we can to help one another out. And we encourage each other even by participating to the point of just subscribing, to what someone else is presenting. I saw this meme recently. There was someone looking down at their device, and on their device, the screen said, "You have 12 followers." And it just showed a snapshot of this person looking at their device, and then it panned out, and it was Jesus walking with his 12 followers. So that meme was pretty interesting. It was meaningful, and a lot of people will post a lot of memes that are just, to get a laugh or whatever. But I felt that this insight was meaningful, it was powerful, because in truth, I wonder how a platform like this back in those days would have been met, if not the same exact way that it's met right now, where people will ridicule someone by saying, I saw that video that you have and it didn't have a whole lot of views. You're not really that great. And that's, that's fine. The greatness around us is collective. And to underscore that is all of the events that are around us that are happening right now. And the health of our nation is very challenged. The health of our families is very challenged. And the health of each of us individual has been extremely challenged, especially spiritually. And I mean that without a religious connotation. What I mean by that is that just the way we either accept one another with gratitude, one another and the circumstances around us with gratitude, or how we deny one another consistently with a cold heart, is something that is rather telling. And so I tell these tales using my instruments of communication and joy. And I do that as passionately as I can with the demonstration around me, showcasing that there are more aspects than meet the eye. You can look around and carry forth all kinds of assumptions based on what you see, even in just looking at an individual. And you also can learn with someone if you learn to accept one another. So thank you so much, everyone here, for accepting me and for continuing to help, especially for the people who are asking for help. And I guess just keep doing what you're doing, but don't forget to also pray for reasonable rainfall for one another so that the proper amount of distributions can occur and the old ways might be considered as exactly as what they are, the old ways. The old ways doesn't mean the always. The old ways that we used to do things, that we used to participate, and that we used to measure and gauge one another have not been ideal for way too long, but our fathers insist on following these ways with minimal participation and a maximum of self-interests being fulfilled. But that's not very rewarding so far as most of all of the livelihood on this planet is waking up to. So thanks for waking up. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for caring. Until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.